trick with the mind. Keep the mind engaged in what you want, and then at the end of the engagement, you will find that the mind is concentrated. Only when you are disturbed of your concentration, then only you will understand that your mind was concentrating previously. But as long as you think that you are concentrating, it proves you are not concentrating. Just like as long as you are thinking that you are sleeping, it proves that it is not sleep. Sleep can be known only when you are awakened from sleep. You can know that you have slept in the past. You can never know that you are sleeping. If you know that you are sleeping, you should know that you are not sleeping. Similarly, if you think that you are concentrating, know that you are not concentrating. Because when the idea of concentration is there with you, how can you concentrate? When you close your eyes and say, I have to concentrate, the mind also tells you, I have to concentrate. It begins to mock at you, and you cannot concentrate. There was a king in the ancient days who was a fool, but who had many riches. Some people have trained a dog in human language, and they brought it to the king. Of course, it is only a story. And they said, my lord, this dog speaks with man. Then he said, let him speak. Then the fellow who brought the dog said, my lord, my salutations to you. The dog said, my lord, my salutations to you. Then the lord said, what is your name? Then the dog said, what is your name? Then the king said, my name is King Midas. Then the dog said, my name is King Midas. The king was such a fool as to purchase the dog with many millions of golden coins. And when he was going to hunt, he took the dog into the forest. When there was the pig, and along with the other dogs also, he asked this dog, you go and hunt the pig. Then the dog said to the king, you go and hunt the pig.
Vous allez chasser ce sanglier.
Then he understood he was helpless. Then he got disappointed and said, you fool. And the dog said, you fool. Then the king said, yes, you are right. Similarly, same is the case with the poor student who tries to concentrate his mind. He says, I have to concentrate the mind. The mind says, I have to concentrate the mind. The result is no concentration. So the art of concentration should be known. It can be known only through the art of relaxation. One who does not know how to relax the lower mind upon the background of the higher mind can never get his mind concentrated. And there is a method which makes your mind concentrate, and which makes you heal yourself, and which keeps your health every day, and which make you heal others when you are in their midst. Whether they know it or not, you can heal them. And it is better to heal many people without their knowledge, instead of making a big advertisement and call them and make them sit down and making a ceremonial healing and all that. No doubt ceremonial healing helps us in propagating the art of healing, but you can heal more number of people without their knowledge than you do with their knowledge. When you travel in an aeroplane, in a bus, in a train, in a car, you can conduct your healing while conducting your conversations with others. You can make the person feel comfortable with you and keep a good humor and practice a humorous way of entertaining people. You can make him smile, make him laugh. Without his knowledge, you can use all these methods to heal him. The practice, as is traditional in the ancient Indian scriptures, is like this. Every day, select a time which is convenient to yourself so that you can use the same time to practice healing. And if possible, the same place, unless you travel. And after the time and place are fixed up, make your room comfortable to yourself. Have a subdued light in the room so that light does not come and have its incidence upon your eyes directly. And have one of the pure colors which are good for healing. And then you sit in comfort. Make your body comfortable. Let it be any posture which is comfortable to you. And see if every nerve and muscle in your body are relaxed. To do this, you have a procedure. You start beginning with your feet. Observe the nerves and muscles with your mind. If any muscle or nerve were in tension, if you have any muscle or nerve in tension, relax it physically and mentally. And gradually you travel from foot to head with your mind. And this is how you have to concentrate your mind. When you begin to think of every muscle and nerve of your body, your mind is engaged with something which is really pleasant and useful to itself, and therefore the mind gradually becomes absorbed. And when you finish this traveling from foot to head, making every nerve and muscle relaxed and comfortable, then begin to observe the movements of your respiration. Closing your eyes, see how the movements of the lungs and the muscles take place inside yourself. And while doing so, the mind is working with the lungs. If you say that the mind has to work with the lungs, it never works. If you begin to observe the movements of the lungs, the mind works with the lungs. See how the breath is being conducted automatically, without your effort and without your knowledge of chemistry. That oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is given out. So there is another yourself who knows chemistry before you know, who knows respiration before you remember that you are respiring. And when once you begin to believe that a higher yourself is existing here, and that he knows and remembers that he has to respire for you, and you are not capable of remembering it, how much chemistry you might have studied, or how much of the medical science you have studied, your knowledge of all the sciences in the world cannot make you remember your respiration. So, with all these ideas, you begin to observe who is respiring in you. You observe him as the higher yourself in you, who knows every science within and outside. And his respiration is maintaining you, protecting you. And then the respiration gradually comes to a balanced state. Then you begin to take the breath of healing. That is, begin to inhale slow, soft and deep. Inhale as deeply as you can do and as much time as you can do without any discomfort to any part of the body. That is the most important aspect. Then when the inspiration is complete, then you begin to make an expire in the same way. Slow, soft and deep exhalation. One inhalation and one exhalation should be conducted without keeping the air in kumbhaka. In this practice, kumbhaka is not required. Take in and breathe out. But the respiration should be slow, soft and deep. This establishes the music in your respiration which was there at your birth and which you have lost through your age. Many times we made the respiration irregular. Whenever we are angry, the respiration is irregular. Whenever we have fear, it is irregular. Whenever there is sorrow, whenever there is jealousy, and every time we had our respiration disturbed. So through age, we made the respiration out of tune and out of music. Now you are going to establish like this once again. The rhythm of the respiration and the rhythm of the heartbeat are being re-established by practicing this breath. Take 3 breaths like this. 1 inhalation and 1 exhalation makes 1 breath. Take 3 breaths like this and then make a relaxation of your breath. Then again take 3 respirations. Then take a relaxation. Then again 3 respirations. Like this 9 respirations of 3 each. And this is 1/3 part of your practice. Then you make yourself free for 2 minutes. Again repeat the experiment. But this time, as long as you are taking inhalation, you meditate upon one particular syllable. When you are exhaling, you meditate upon another syllable. 2 syllables of one mantra. The first is so, the second is hum. The mantra is soham. It is being uttered in your respiration, and you need not utter it separately, but begin to listen to it while you are breathing. As long as you are taking respiration, inspiration, mentally utter the first syllable. As long as you are taking the breath in, you meditate like this. So mentally, as long as you are taking in breath. Then when you begin to exhale, you vocally utter the second syllable like this. Hum. Like this. So this is 1 respiration, 1 inspiration with so, 1 exhalation with hum. Like this, make 3 respirations. Then relax. Then 3 respirations. Then relax. Like this, do 9 respirations of 3 groups, 3 each. Then relax. The second 1/3 of the practice is finished. There is the last and final 1/3. You take the same type of respiration, mentally uttering Om. Then you make an exhalation, vocally uttering Om. So mentally you utter Om as long as you are taking in breath. Vocally you utter Om as long as you are exhaling the breath. Do it uniform, slow, soft, deep. 3 respirations, then a relax. Again 3 respirations, then a relax. And 3 respirations. Like this 9 respirations of 3 each. So the first one is observing your breath and 9 respirations. The second set is Soham, 9 respirations. The third one is Om with 9 respiration. This is the only process that is required to keep your mental, physical and spiritual health. And within a few weeks you will begin to improve. You will know what concentration of mind is. You will experience what stability is. You will experience what mind is without oversensitivity or hypersensitivity. You will know what satisfaction is. You will understand that satisfaction does not exist in environment, but it exists with you. Then within 1 year, you will heal yourself completely. At the same time, the effect is being felt in the house by others. Even those who are not practicing but who are living with you in the house will feel the health and accept if anyone wants to practice with you. And do not enforce if anyone doesn't want to practice it. Have a positive attitude towards both. Then after 2 or 3 years, you will know how people are healed. If you go to a house and sit for 10 minutes and come away, see what wonderful changes occur in that house. See how even though they were unlucky and sick for tens of years previously, they begin to change and they begin to adopt healthy methods in their house, and they begin to improve their own health. Of course, this is one method of practicing healing. There are many methods. Each guru can impart a method. For example, the esoteric breaths of Hatha Yoga have many powers of healing. The practice of Sitali and Sitkari pranayama and the practice of Ujjayi type of pranayama, every one of such practices have their own faculties of healing, but each should be practiced only according to his own constitution and the agreeability of the constitution. All the deep breaths of pranayama are not fit to be practiced by everyone. The prescription should be made by an expert guru. But as far as the present practice is concerned, as far as my method which I gave you is concerned, you need not wait for a prescription. There is no one who is harmed by doing it. Everyone, males or females, children or elders, can begin to practice it with positivism and with good results. This is an age-old and tested method which is being practiced through thousands of years. So, with these few words, I introduce the subject to you. But it is a subject which is to be tackled in many lectures. But the modern literature is gaining importance in this dimension. You have many expert books that are written on the subject, that are safe and reliable. I can suggest one book to you. Of course, that is not the only book on earth, but that is one of the best books I know. Many of you might be knowing it. You see, it is the Esoteric Healing written by Alice A. Bailey. Though the book is a bit difficult to approach in the beginning, you can make a repeated reading and a leisurely reading, and it will make you understand what healing is in its real sense. Apart from this, you can get yourself trained by any healing guru in a systematic manner and make yourself a healer. But one warning to the Occidents is, I have observed many people since 1972 till today, that they are inspired by too much of self-sacrifice. Many people are beginning to heal before they got themselves healed. the result is that they are going into nervousness and horrible consequences are ahead. It is great, highly commendable that your sacrifice will be rewarded by the Father in heaven. But first of all, heal yourself. Have your vehicles strong and pure. Automatically your vehicles manifest healing magnetism. Otherwise, you are harming yourself. Sometimes you are transmitting your nervousness to the patients also. Excuse me if I make this comment, but it is my constant observation for the past 9 years. Many people, young and old, are very ready to help the sick and they don't mind losing themselves. But take a firm stand before you do the help in a correct way. And this is what I wanted to transmit to you today. I am open to you for any questions and answers and a positive discussion. What we are observing in a magnet is magnetism according to the nature of magnetism, and it is the same magnetism that is working through us. Just as a magnet influences magnetic substances around itself, our constitution influences the other constitutions, living constitutions around ourselves. And when we arrange two magnets in the required manner, they attract each other. And if we arrange them in another way, they will repel. What we call likes and dislikes in the human psychology are only mechanical attractions and repulsions of the magnetism of the human constitution, translated in terms of human thoughts. And the values of likes and dislikes can be properly harnessed, and a desirable relationship between two people can be established through love, sympathy and filial affection, by a readiness to excuse anyone and to find what is common with us in others, instead of finding how we are greater than others, how we are different from others, how we are distinguished from others. If we begin to find out what is common in others, then the polarity works in the positive direction and the magnetism works in the constructive way. And just as the magnets influence the other magnetic substances to make them also magnet, similarly the human magnetism works upon others to make them also healthy and positive. And we will be able to understand that what we call magnetism in magnets is not different from what we call the vital force in ourselves. It is the same that is working in the magnet and in the living constitution. So there is nothing like human magnetism separately understood from the ordinary magnets we see. When magnetism between magnets is true, it is the same that is true between two people. And it is to make the magnetism work in the required manner is the practice of the healer. There are some colors that can be used commonly, but many times the color selection should depend upon the patient at hand. But for us to practice in the room, we can have the navy blue color or the sky blue color or the light rose color or the green color of the grass meadow. Any one of these colors can be used for meditation and practice in the room. Even while healing, the same colors, one of the colors, these colors can be meditated, but sometimes the patient may require a specific prescription of colors to get himself healed soon. For example, if a patient is not only sick for a very long time, but also mentally sick, that is, too skeptical and overcritical of any subject, and too fault finding among his own people, then it is very, very difficult to cure him medically or otherwise. Unless his attitude were to be changed, it is not at all possible to cure him in the real sense. And not only that, he works as a vampire upon others. His presence sucks your energy when he argues with you, and after 15 minutes or half an hour, when he goes away from you, differing, then you will find yourself very weak and fatigued. You cannot understand at first why you are so fatigued, but gradually you will come to understand that such people will draw out the vital magnetism from the human bodies without their own knowledge, and it is not useful even to themselves. It goes a waste into space. You will be made weak, but he is not made strong. In such cases, you have to use a combination of colors, quickly changing. You have to make darkness and then a beautiful color, for example, sky blue, and then pure orange, and then milk white, and then again darkness. Like this, these combinations of these four colors should be continuously changed, and even then it takes many weeks. My childhood till now, I have gathered as many keys as possible about the branch of astrology, and I have made a big book in my regional language about this branch of astrology, which I am trying to render it into English if my time permits, as a second volume of spiritual astrology. But for that particular aspect, all other things are common to the Occidental